I can't be the only adult who gets easily distracted when you're trying to be a grown-up and tidy up and do things, and then you come across something you forgot you had. This happened to me when I found this little stack of White Dwarfs recently. Now, instead of going through them at the time, I figured I'll go through them with you guys. And I'm not going to go through them in any numerical order, I'm just going to go through them top to bottom of this stack. So, if that sounds good to you, and you can put up with me gibbering on at you, then stick around and let's have a look. Today's issue then, we're going to be having a look at issue 346, which came out in October 2008. Now, as you can see on the front, you've got an Ultramarine. Weird, isn't it? Warhammer 40k and Ultramarines. To thunk it. It's got a big Space Marine thing down here. We've got Warhammer Raiding Campaign and the Lord of the Rings Magic Tactica. Inside for the Emperor, new Space Marines go to war. There we go, that's why. So White Dwarf, new Space Marines. Let's see, let's get into it. So as we open it up, we've got a nice picture of the Ultramarines here, fighting the Tyranids. And we've got a little bit of editorial. So the cover art is by Alex Boyd. So he's actually been referenced here. And as we stated, October 2008, issue 346. And it gives you a quick rundown of the studio team here. So editor is Mark Latham, sub-editor Andrew Kenrick, staff writer Andy Hall, designers Matthew Hudson and Christian Byron. Ooh, I just pronounced that. Assistant designer Glenn Moore. And then, editorial coordinator Rick Turner, and loads of contributors, and all the kinds of stuff down here. So it actually gives you everybody's name in here. Citadel design team, artwork, John Blanche, Alex Boyd. Oh, look. That's really cool to see. I never actually ever looked at this back in the day when I had it originally. So now they've taken all the names away. It's actually quite interesting to see even the heavy metal team down here. Darren Latham, there we go, getting a mention. That's cool to see them. And then you've got a little introduction from Mark Latham, the editor. So next page then, you've got your contents, new releases. And in the contents, we've got Space Marines, features, so Nation Know No Fear, Pillage, Tell all that, Angels of Death. And for the new releases then, we've got the new Codex Space Marines coming out, which, looking at that, it says £18, which is a lot different to what it is these days. So £18, a little snippet of what's coming in it. Here we go, more new releases. So here's a load of stuff. So this isn't the first time that Space Marine Drop Pod came out, is it? It says the new highly detailed multi-part plastic kit by Tom Walton fulfills a similar role to the Rhino APC. So yeah, maybe that was when it came out. It's crazy that they give Tom a mention there. So the guy who designed it, it mentions that, and it was £18 as well. Space Marine Land Raider, Crusader / Redeemer. So it's a new plastic kit by Colin Grayson. So that he gets a mention as well, and that was 35 quid when that came out. And it gives you all the options, well, different options. It shows you what you can make. Is that really when it came out? I suppose actually 2008 was a long time ago. And Sternguard Veterans. So these were the release of the, I believe they were metal back then, weren't they? Or these, yeah. So they were £20 for the 5. It says here, these new veterans were sculpted by Juan Diaz. So he gets a mention. And we got down here, Pedro Cantor. Again, Juan Diaz, he was £8 when he came out. Who we got here? Captain Sakaris of the Second Company, sculpted by Dave Thomas. I quite like that sculpt actually, that's really nice. He was £8. Vanguard Veterans, I actually had these. These, I think, out of all of these are the ones I actually had. And again, Juan Diaz, £20. What we got down here? Cronus. So this pair of miniatures, so Teleon and Cronus were both sculpted by Neil Langdon. So again, getting a mention. Teleon was £8, Cronus was £12. The Thunderfire Cannon, I remember that, I never had that, but I remember that. Colin Grayson came out with that one, £30. Space Marine Scout Bike, kit sculpted by Mark Harrison, and that was £7. And the Space Marine Land Speeder. Was this the first time they redid the Land Speeder? Has been reconfigured by Johnny Ware to include new plastic components that were previously only available in metal. So this is now plastic for £18. And after all that, Warhammer Warriors of Chaos Spearhead. So next month is about Warriors of Chaos. Moving on then, we get into Forge World. So Forge World are going on about the Eldar Cobra Type 2. So that was a new release by the looks of it. I don't know if it gives you any sort of pricing though, but it does tell you it's designed by Will Hayes, so he gets a shout out. So the Nurgle Dreadnought is also being shown here, and it tells you model designed by Will Hayes and Simon Egan. But also I'm really sad now that you can't actually get these Dreadnoughts anymore. I really like the looks of those. Those old Chaos ones that you used to be able to get from Forge World were amazing, and it saddens me that they've stopped making them now. And more new releases. So we've got Black Library, so Titanicus, Only in Death, Gotrek and Felix, Elf Slayer. Well, this Titanicus one is about $18.99, Only in Death $6.99, Gotrek and Felix was $6.99. All coming out in September, all on the same day. An advert for Lord of the Rings Grand Tournament in 2009. 2 700-point armies, 1 good, 1 evil, models must be painted, etc. Tickets were 55 quid each. And then some news. So, Become Legendary. Retail recruitment roadshows coming to a city near you. Okay then, so is that how they used to recruit? Looking for great people to manage and work in our retail stores. I'm trying to think, 2008, how good maybe their website would have been to actually try and recruit people. I mean, it's not the greatest these days, so let alone back then. A little segment about Warhammer World. Matt Hooton, a Golden Demon winner, showcasing his stuff by the looks of it. Price rises. Oh, here we go. So here's a mention of it. So how does it start? As everyone knows, costs are going up all over the world. And just like everyone else, we are seeing an increase in the price of oil, metal, printed materials, and transport. So same old story. Up until now, we've absorbed these increases. But the recent and dramatic doubling in the price of tin is simply something we are unable to ignore, and therefore some of our prices will be going up too. So this was in a... Okay, so they announced it as from 29th of September 2008, increasing the price of all metal models as well as a selection of other items, including most of our books and some accessories including paint. So oil, metal, and printed materials I suppose have gone up, so yeah, I suppose that books might as well go up in price as well. Considering tin's more expensive, our books are going to cost more somehow. The good news is that we do not intend to raise the price of our plastic kits at this time, which means Games Workshop's plastic range remains excellent value for money. Okay then, so they didn't do just a whole site-wide price range, price hike. They did individual bits. Interesting. A nice little picture of Space Marines from the Codex. And they shall know no fear. So here's a segment where it looks like Andy Hall talks to Matt Ward about the largest codex we've published in over a decade. So this looks like a whole thing about talking about the new Codex Space Marines coming out. So it says down here, Codex is a whopping 144 pages in length and is divided into 5 sections. And again, as you can see, some nice pretty pictures of the Ultramarines fighting some Tyranids. Next, we've got an interview by the looks of it. So Andy talking to Matt, Pedro Cantor, nice little picture talking about Pedro. A little bit about tactical squads here, painted in salamanders. A little bit about the Ultramarines. Some stuff about Captain Sikaris. Some nice close-ups of his model. Some more questions and some more answers. Looking at the Stern Guard veterans. And looking at the Vanguard veterans as well. So these are just design notes going through it, interviewing each other. And next we're having a look at the Thunderfire cannon with a little bit from Sergeant Talion down here. And then we jump over to some Scout Bikers with Cronus as well. A little bit about scout squads down here. And next they're looking at some assault squads, devastator squads, your terminators, librarians, and drop pod assault. So it looks like they are looking at the new drop pod kit, which again you can see it across the bottom here is all painted in different Legion colors. Oh wow. Oh, I haven't seen this in a long time. I forgot they used to do this. I don't think they still do this anywhere, do they? I haven't seen. I feel like I've not seen this in a long time. I like this. The breakdown of all the pieces that come in the kit, but they're all painted as well, so you can actually see everything within the kit. Even to the point where it looks like they haven't actually glued the sides together, so they are the two separate bits of the sides. Yeah, they've literally, even the little bits of tread here. Everything looks like it's been painted, and it gives you a key, so yeah, everything's got a number and it's all got a name associated with it. That's really cool to see. I like that. And some stuff about Space Marine chapters then. So if you're not familiar, you can have a read up on your Space Marine chapters. And now a little bit evolution of the Space Marine. Everybody knows the Emperor is an architect of the Adeptus Astartes, but delve deep beyond Imperial propaganda and you'll discover that the true daddy of the Space Marines is Jez Goodwin. Okay, so done a nice interview with Jez. So here's the very first Space Marine. So here's some old sketches, which looks really cool actually. That's cool to see. And then we've got some more sketches. And then on this side we've got the original Rhino. Ah yeah, so the original 90s Rhino compared to the current iteration. And then down here some different sketches of the Ultramarines with colours. I think down here it's got helmet colours, honor marks, campaign markings, all different types of colours and stuff. And then on the next page, in store this month. So it's just talking more again about Space Marines, and you've got another nice piece of artwork. And then we move into some Warhammer Fantasy. So Warhammer Raids. So this is like it's part 2, Raids part 2. So Scenario 3, Dawn Raid. Scenario 4, Scenario 5. Scenario 6, Revenge. That's a nice building. I like that. That looks cool. Raid campaigns. So more stuff on here. Another advert for so Mechanicum had just come out, or was about to come out this year. So in stores November. I remember reading that one. God, ages ago. Well, back in 2008, wasn't it? Yeah. And on the other side then, Warhammer 40k, Tale of 4 Gamers. So 3 months in and our budding hobbyists are well in their way to amassing decent sized armies. Join us now as we check up on them once more to see who they've crushed, how much they've painted, and whether Huron Blackheart has managed to claim yet another foe. So it looks like an ongoing 40k campaign. I'm guessing they're using Space Marines, Eldar, Chaos Space Marines and Orcs. And yeah, it looks like, so we've got Crimson Fists being played. We've got Eldar. So a nice shot of the Eldar army. And we've got some Chaos Space Marines, so Horror and Blackheart being used. A nice little shot of their army there. And finally, Orcs. There's another shot of the Orcs army. And then some Middle-earth content. I feel like you don't see this much these days. The Lord of the Rings Tactica. Part 1 as well. Well, Warhammer 40k Battle Report. Angels of Death. So it looks like, is it just... so there's 3 different battle reports in this then. Game 1, Game 2. So over here, game stats. So Game 1 is Ultramarines versus Eldar. Game 2, White Scars versus Chaos Marines. And Game 3, Salamanders versus Tyranids. Okay then, so here is all the Space Marines. So it's 1750 points, and these are the different armies for the Space Marine players. So we've got somebody taking Ultramarines, White Scars, and Salamanders. And then we've got Eldar, Tyranids, and Chaos. So it goes into game 1, which is Eldar versus Ultramarines. So these must be really short battle reports then, turns 3 and 4. So it gives you just a lot of turn 4. Yeah, it just gives you a lot of information by the looks of it. It's not a whole long battle report. So in the end, draw. And then it's the next one. So it starts off Chaos versus White Scars. And then you've got your turn 1 stuff down here. Some key points, a little bit going on. Some other bits and bobs going on. So it turns 4 to 5, and then it gives you the White Scars win 2-0, 2-0. And then game 3 with the Salamanders versus the Tyranids. So again, it starts off with turns 1 to 2, giving you some key points, showing you some of the stuff that happened. Then it goes into turn 3, so it doesn't show you much of what's going on. It kind of looks like it just gives you key points here to try and round it up quicker. And at this point, turn 2, the Tyranids are winning by 1 point. And then by turn 4 to 5, it gives you the Tyranids win 10-7. So obviously it just gives you, again, little snippets of what's going on. So not like a full-blown battle report where it's detailed turn for turn by the looks of it. I don't remember if they used to do that at this point then. Is that how they used to do them? Was this just a one-off? Did they try and cram more battle reports in but just make them shorter for people to read? Oh god. I hate those old Tyranid models. Metal ones were alright, but when they turned them to Finecast and this bit used to break all the time. Absolute nightmare. So after that, they obviously interview all the guys who were playing. So everybody who had a game. And next then, so we've got something, I don't know what it was, called Standard Bearer normally by the looks of it. It looks like they've scribbled it all out because it's about John Blanche this month. But I don't remember what the section used to be about. But it does mention here, which I do remember. Many of you vets will remember John Blanche's hobby column, which I do sort of remember, I think, from some of the older ones that I had. So it's nice to see that again, to see some of John Blanche's painted up models, what he's been working on. And then after that, Hobby Essentials. So it talks about water slide transfers and gives you some tips on how to do them. Heavy Metal Masterclass. So what we're talking about in here. So we've got, oh, Elrond. So we're talking about Lord of the Rings. So down here it gives you all the paints that you're going to need. And then across here, it shows you some examples. So you can do them 2 different ways. Does it actually, so do we go into the how to do it? And we do! So here's the age-old step-by-step painting guide, which is nice to see again. How to paint Elrond. Oh. So it even shows you how to do the sleeves, how to do the little patterns on the sleeves. And next, what we got? Oh, dry brushing and overbrushing. So there's a nice tutorial about how to dry brush. One of the best methods ever. And oh my god, oh, so this was the era of the god-awful pots. Were they the worst ones? The ones that used to just cack up and get stuck and then never seal and everything would dry out. They were awful. I think it was them, was it? Oh no, the screw lid ones with the black tops as well. They were fucking horrible. These ones here were terrible, but they're not as bad. I think they came after the screw top ones, didn't they? They were awful. But anyway, enough about that. Dry brushing. Oh, good. And it gives you some stuff. So you do skeleton, a plague bearer, even a space marine, and an orc. So chalky results. If you dry brush over a fairly bright colour, the results can sometimes look very chalky. If you want to restore colour while retaining highlight, apply a glaze using thin down paint or wash. That's always a good tip. So if you want to get rid of your chalky dry brush, just water down some paint, throw it back on, and it will blend it back in. And a bit about overbrushing then. So it goes into detail about that. And obviously just up here, just throws that at you so you can buy the How to Paint Citadel Miniatures book. Oh, a little bit more about overbrushing. And then basing down here. And then combining the techniques. So painting your tracks. Dry brushing your tanks. Yeah. So the open day reviews. So June 14th, they had at Warhammer World a first ever studio open day. Oh, I like the sound of this then. I wish they did this more then. So design open day. So you can actually talk with the designers, I'm guessing. I'm not going to read it all, I don't think, but it sounds like you get to, yeah, go meet all the designers and chat with them. Kind of like what they did do at the some of the events still at Warhammer World, but I don't know if you see the designers as much these days, which is always a shame. Then you've got an event calendar at the back, just to keep you up to date with what's going on, all through October and November. And then the old school store finder. Oh, Hobbycraft. More stores. More stores. Ah, so this is interesting then. So this says basically, back in the day, if you could help Games Workshop find more stores to sell their stuff in, particularly in these areas, if you email or wrote to them and they decided to go with your suggested store and they start carrying the product, then you would win a battalion or battle force of your choice. That's quite interesting. I couldn't imagine them ever doing that these days. So all you had to do was suggest a store that could start selling their product and you would win something yourself if you got chosen. Yeah, nice incentive to try and get their stuff out there. Quite interesting. And then we carry on with some more stores. And we've got Club Directory, which looks like it is... Oh, right, so you can list... Oh, no, you can list your clubs, but only if you're part of the GCN. So the Gaming Club Network. It's a volunteer organisation which started in '99. I never knew they did that, to be honest. I don't remember seeing that. That's quite cool. So if you had a club and you were part of that, you could list it in here to get people coming down to play. That's quite nice. And then available to order. So they've got a shit ton of Space Marines for you to buy at the back. So it doesn't look like it's got any of the pre-orders in here. It just looks like stuff that was already available. So all your Terminators, Dreadnoughts, Captains, Command Squad, Tactical Squad, Assault Squad, Rhino. Oh, Bits Pack. Did they still do it at that point? Oh, that's interesting. So you used to be able to buy for £10. Yeah, you used to be able to buy the, so that looks like the upgrade kit for the Rhino to turn it into a Razorback. Or is that part of the Land Raider? I think that's the Razorback upgrade kit, isn't it? So Space Marine Terminus Ultra Conversion Pack, 15 quid. Pack allows you to convert Space Marine Land Raider to the Terminus Ultra pattern. Alright, so yeah, it's got nothing to do with it turning a Rhino into a Razorback. It's all about the Land Raider. That's quite interesting. I'm surprised they don't do that anymore. That would be handy to have. Well, I am not surprised. Yeah, no, I am surprised. No, I'm not surprised. Hang on. Wait, which one am I? No, it makes sense that they don't. What the hassle would be probably having to have them put aside. So at the bottom here, I've just noticed they've got Space Marine shoulder pads, but they're for chapters I don't even know of. So Mentors, Praetors of Orpheus, and Aurora chapter. All 6 quid for 10 shoulder pads. But I've never heard of these 3 chapters, and I don't remember them ever making them. So is that... whatever happened to them? That sounds really cool though. I wish they'd bring them back. They look really cool. Why can't they just bring back the random shoulder pads for random Space Marine chapters? That would be nice to see again. We're nearly at the end then. So we've got collector's range. So we've got some collectible Lord of the Rings, which is now currently made to order, which pop up every now and again, and it looks like back in the day they were the same. So the models are exclusively via mail order only. So you could only get them by ordering them online, well, for mail order. And down here you got advanced orders. So you get the latest products delivered to your door day release. Postage advanced orders is only £2, so you can get them released and sent to you. And on here then, so we've got the how to order, so you can either go to your Games Workshop, use the website, or give them a call. So there's the troll from before. And lastly then, we've got, the subscription, so get 3 issues for only £5. Can you imagine? And then on here finally, we've got the next month. So we've got Warhammer Warriors of Chaos. And then also we've got some 40k and some Lord of the Rings stuff. And then on the back, finally, we've got a little advertisement for next month, the Warhammer Warriors of Chaos. And that's the end of the video. So if you've made it this far, I really appreciate you watching it. And hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm guessing if you are here, you probably did. So I'll probably be doing some more. I've got this pile of White Dwarfs to get through. And I figured I might as well make some videos. So whether they're popular or not, I'll still be making some videos on them because, why not? So if you did enjoy it, come back for some more at some point. And I'll probably see you then. So thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Bye.